Hello, and welcome to the Outdoorsy Diva podcast. I'm your host, Lauren, the Outdoorsy Diva. Thanks for joining. Hello, adventurers. Welcome to another episode of the Outdoorsy Diva podcast. We have a really special guest today. We have Dr. Kim and Claude Walker of Abundant Life Adventure Club. We are kicking off the National Great Outdoors month of June, and I'm really happy to have them here on the show. We have been Instagram friends, Instagram stalking each other for I think a year now. And so we're finally able to come together and have them on the show. So say hello, let the people know who you are.
Hi, and thank you so much for having us on the show. We are excited.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
But yes, I'm Dr. Kim, and this is Claude.
Yes, I'm Claude. And we're founders of Abundant Life Adventure Club.
Yeah, here in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, you're based in Nashville, Tennessee. Awesome. And so how long have you had Abundant Life Adventure Club?
Well, Abundant Life Adventure Club, this is our second season.
Mm-hmm.
So we started in 2019 for our first season, and now 2020. So yeah, 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So talk to us about what is it? What is it for the people who haven't heard of you before? You know, what's your mission? What do you do?
Yeah.
Right. So Abundant Life Adventure Club is a community of professionals of color. So we get outside, we have fun, we try new things. We hike, we bike, we kayak, we zip line, and more. We just try to get people outdoors to just appreciate the outdoors. We incorporate mindfulness and meditation in all of our ventures.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, our main thing is trying to help people to get outdoors, enjoy all the health and wellness benefits of outdoors, and to have fun. And yeah, really trying to help people of color break down some of all those barriers that we face
Right.
To getting outdoors, because we can definitely, benefit, especially with all the things we see now, more so with like COVID and like health disparities, that we need to be getting outdoors too and taking care of ourselves. And being involved in outdoor recreation is like one of the best things that you can do, mind, body, and spirit.
Yes.
I absolutely 100% agree. So now you guys in the audience, you see why we were such kindred spirits right away. And I had to have him on the show because you've heard all those same things from me as well. So what prompted you to get started? Why did you see a need for a group like this in Nashville?
So how we got started really is Kim. She went out on a hike. She went by herself in the middle of nowhere where there was no cell phone reception. So she asked me, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't know if I'm going to go. And then she woke up one morning and said, I'm about to go hiking. I'm like, what you talking about? And she said, I'm leaving you, and if you don't want to go, I said, you can go on. So then I was very worried when she was out there. But anyway, when she came back, she's had these most amazing pictures.
Yeah, I was sending them, was it Marco Polos while I was there. Like, you were missing out. This is so much fun. And it really all kind of sparked from there.
Yeah. And I was basically a little late bloomer when it came to the outdoors and adventurers, because with me and Kim are from a place where we didn't really get outdoors. We didn't do that. This is something new to us.
Yeah.
But basically, once she did that, then I came on. Then we brought our son, and it was like a family thing. And then we was like, man, people should really, really like be able to enjoy the outdoors. Our people
this is dope.
Yeah, this is dope.
We wish our friends would do this, but our friends weren't having it.
Our friends weren't having it. So we started we just wanted people to come. So we gauged on like Facebook, like, hey, would people come for like beginner hiking or something like that?
Yeah, we made a bootleg flyer and put it on Facebook, and like 10 people came.
Yeah.
We're like, oh,
That's
Okay.
awesome.
This is a thing.
And then,
So we did it again.
And we want to turn into a series. And then we were like, you know what?
We should name ourselves.
We got to name this. And then we went from that to, it just turned into like a full-blown business. And it just has been like, it's
unfolding.
Beyond our wildest imaginations.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just something natural and something that it just happened authentically.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And let me tell y'all, 10 people for your first one is actually really good. You know how many came to my first one? 2. Including my son.
Hey, but hey,
But
you gotta start it.
And I commend y'all. Y'all, you just put it out there. You started. It didn't have to be pretty the first time, and you just made it happen. But now I'm trying to get to like that core. Like, so you started on the hike, but what made you want to go on a hike to begin with, Kim?
Go ahead.
So, okay, like Claude mentioned, we did not do this stuff growing up at all. I'm from Memphis. He's from still West Tennessee area.
Malin, Tennessee. Small town.
But it's still like, in terms of Tennessee, it's like that's where mainly like the Black people live in Tennessee, like West Tennessee. We just didn't really do that stuff growing up at all. But I went to school in East Tennessee. I went to the University of Tennessee. So, and it's like, the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. I could see the mountains. We drove through mountains to get from Memphis to Knoxville, but I just didn't go into it. We drove through the mountains, but that was it. So when I got back to Nashville and I was in grad school, and I think I just will overhear my classmates talking about doing stuff. And I learned about these Tennessee waterfalls. I had no idea that there were waterfalls in Tennessee. In my adult age. I was like 25 years old. So I had no idea that there were waterfalls in Tennessee. So I started just kind of Googling them, and I was like, man, I want to go see these waterfalls. I didn't have anybody to go with. So what year was this? Maybe like 2017, 2018, like when the new year hit. And I was like, this is what I'm doing this year. I'm not letting anybody hold me back. I'm going to live my best life. So I went and found this guided hike that the state park was having. I didn't even really know that guided hikes was a thing, but I was like, surely like somebody's going, and that I just want to go and enjoy it. I don't want to go and get lost and be by myself and all this kind of stuff. So I went alone. I drove alone, but I was there with a group of strangers. And I went on that waterfall hike, and it just like blew my mind. I was like, this is Tennessee. I've lived in Tennessee my whole life. At this point, West Tennessee, East Tennessee, and Middle Tennessee. I've lived in all parts of it. And I had no idea that these beautiful areas were around. And I was like, Claude, you gotta come.
And honestly, for me, it's been a thing of like realization. Like and she can contest to it. I think it's helped our family, helped our marriage, it's helped togetherness time.
Everything.
Yeah, it's become a passion now.
Yeah.
Like something, a passion I didn't even know I had. And now it's like, it's just evolved into something so much deeper than what I thought.
Yeah. So after that one trip, it was like we started hiking more regularly. It took me leaving and going on that waterfall hike by myself with this other group to like spur her into like, okay, I'm not gonna let her go off by herself without me. So
I guess that's my voice when I speak.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I haven't stopped since. I'm like amazed. It doesn't matter where I go. I could be up the road. I could go somewhere far. I'm just in awe, of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like addicted to it.
Yeah.
And I just feel like if other people were exposed and just had like easy access to it, that they would enjoy it too. And that's the thing. Like, I wanted to do it for a long time, but I just didn't know where to go, how to do it, what to wear, anything. And it kind of started from there. Like, guided experiences make a world of difference.
Exactly. I think that's so crazy how, and I didn't know that until now when we're just talking. So our origin story is almost identical. So waterfalls for me, that was the thing.
Yeah.
My best friend in college, she was my roommate, and her first internship was in Northern Alabama. And she was like, when you come up here, her white coworkers had told her about all these waterfalls. And I was like, wait, waterfalls in Alabama? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I thought. I guess growing up that only waterfalls were in places like way north or
Yeah.
Hawaii. I don't
Yeah.
know, but it just didn't occur to me. So when I went to see her and I took my son and we went to one of these waterfalls and we were instantly like, well, this is freaking amazing. There's just
Yeah.
water just coming out of the rocks for no reason.
Yeah.
What is this? And so from that, we basically planned our road trip through Northern Alabama to find
Yeah.
more waterfalls. And then
Mhm.
it became the United States. And so
Yeah.
now wherever I go, I'm on the internet looking like, is there a waterfall within an hour or two of where
Yeah.
I'm going? Because if it is, I'm going to see it. I've even been to the tallest one in Florida, which is in Chipley, called Falling Waters. It's
Okay.
only a flow when it rains, but it's a legit, for real waterfall. So
Yeah.
y'all got to come down to Florida
Awesome.
and do these springs
Yes.
with me.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we love Florida, so
Yes.
So that's really cool. And what you were saying about the guided experiences is important for people to hear. So for our listeners, our newbies, our beginners, if there's something you want to do and you want to try, start with your state parks, your local county parks, and see what guided experiences, guided hikes, guided activities that they have. Because just like Kim did, you can go and then we promise you're going to go and fall in love with it. And
Yes.
then you're going to want to do it like all the time. All right,
Yeah.
so let's talk about some of the outdoor activities that your club is planning. Claude, you mentioned like hiking, cycling, kayaking. What are zip lining? What's been your favorite?
honestly, I get a different feeling with all of them because it's honestly seeing all the members' faces, and like a lot of these people have never did any of this stuff we're doing, so they're actually stepping out on the limb and trusting us, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, I had a good time at. We went to a place called Machine Falls. It's a natural area. We also the kayaking is pretty fun too for us. So just the waterfalls and the kayaking is my thing.
Oh, yeah. I like all of it. And with our adventure club, we go to a different place or do a different trail
Every
every
time.
time.
Yeah.
Oh,
We have
wow.
not repeated an adventure. There's so many cool places to go. And like you don't even have to spend a lot of money or drive very far to do some of these things.
Right.
But I love them all. And we infuse this mindfulness and meditation. We go a lot of places that have water nearby.
Right.
We just have this whole like spiritual thing and Psalms 23 moment, being
Mm-hmm.
next to quiet water. It's just refreshing and renews our spirits and stuff. So we have these things we call them inspiration points,
Hmm.
and they have different like short devotions on them, and we'll take our group and sit down next to whatever we think is like the most scenic portion of our adventure,
Hmm.
and we'll kind of do some mindfulness, do some breathing, and do this devotion. And it's just this whole vibe. It's just amazing.
It really
So
is.
that is like my favorite part of each adventure. I like them all.
And also on the back of those inspiration cards, there are like 2 or 3 questions, and they're go deeper questions. So our members can like interact with each other, just not on the surface level, but get a little deeper. So like we try to like incorporate mindfulness, meditation, community,
Yeah.
just all of those things in one, so they enjoy the
Yeah.
experience.
It's like a whole experience.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that. So now I know you are primarily targeting people of color, but do you have people of all kinds, races, backgrounds that come?
Yeah, to be honest with you, what's funny is so we had a Renew Year hike this past year, and
For New
for New
Year's.
Year's. So on that hike, we literally had Black, we had white, we had Asian, and we had Latino people on just that one hike.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so what is the structure? Like, how do people join? Is it a members only? Is it open to the public and they pay for their activity? Kind of talk to us about how it's structured.
So last year we started off because we were definitely trying it out. We weren't sure how people were going to take to it. We just had small fees per adventure, and some adventures just cost extra money. But this year we have a membership model, and that includes all of our basic like hikes and bike rides, and anything that costs extra like kayaking or zip lining, where we have to bring in somebody to guide us. Those cost extra, and we also open those up to like the public, the community, and it kind of helps spread the word about us as well too. So
Gotcha.
People join on our website. We still put some stuff on Meetup and Eventbrite, Facebook.
Okay.
The places that like local people are looking to find stuff to do on.
Awesome. Now, talk to us about your name, because I love the name, Abundant Life. So how did you come up with that?
So we were like, as we said, we was like, man, we got to name this. Once people started gravitating towards what we were doing, and Kim literally was just reading in the Bible one day. She was just reading. She reads her Bible, so she was reading the Bible. She said something out loud, and I'm like, Abundant Life. I said, I like that. Abundant Life Adventure Club. I like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what we should name it. That's what we're gonna name it.
But we just like this whole, when you go outside and you go on these adventures, you feel so alive. Like we wanted to like capture the essence of that feeling in the name. And it's kind of like multiple layers. And just in my day job, so I'm an occupational therapist, and I work with people in long-term care. I work with people who are at the end of their lives, and they have just taught me so much about like how to, how you should live your life and enjoy your life while you have it, enjoy your health and your youth and your family while you have it.
Absolutely.
And, like escaping and unplugging, and nobody ever really says they want to work. They wish they had worked more at the end of their life. Right. We need to spend time doing fun things that we enjoy with our people that we care about. So kind of a layer in that, and then our faith, like at the end of the day, we just, believe that abundant life comes through Jesus. So we kind of incorporated all of that in our name. So,
I love it. I love it. All right. So we have to talk about the big C word, COVID-19. So, as a business, as a club that is based around groups.
Yes. And socializing.
And socializing is at the very core of that. And how did it affect you all, this year and things you had planned so far?
Well, it did affect basically.
Halted everything.
It halted everything. it really did. And I always play around and say COVID is hating on us. But it affected everything. But it actually gave us more time to actually interact with our community. It gave us more time to plan. Regroup and figure out exactly how we want this thing to happen this year. So we did a Venture Out Challenge. So the Venture Out Challenge was basically a challenge that people can get outside in their neighborhoods, their local greenways, parks, wherever
they feel comfortable, however they feel comfortable.
And it's basically a challenge to them. They could have done 15, 30, or 45 miles in a month.
Walk, hike, or bike, or run.
And basically we gave out these great prizes. And also they would also it'd be like a held accountable type of thing. They will put their walk, hike, or bike, on social media, and we would share it. And then next thing you know, like all the interaction that we were getting out of that, and then the prizes that we were given, the great prizes that we were given, people start gravitating towards that. So we start actually building up our community base even stronger through this.
Because we didn't want to lose touch with people.
Right.
And like stayed up a couple of nights trying to figure out what in the world, because we were really building some great momentum.
Yeah, our first event had 55 people to it, our zip line event. So it had 55 people. So, you know, that's a bummer. You're going to start it off and then bam, that happened.
Yeah. So we still haven't zip line yet. But yeah, that venture out, we're going to continue to do that
every year.
It was really good. And we gave out prizes every week, and people were sharing like different testimonies on like how they didn't think that they could even walk that far or hike that far. And to see the members start going to some of the same places that we took them to was really cool. And of course, more people found out about us. So yeah, it was really cool.
And right now we started back. We did three events.
Yeah.
Did 3 events already. Basically we limit our group size, 10 or less.
Okay.
And we make sure they wear their face masks, make sure we practice social distancing, stagger, and different things like that.
Yeah, so we're doing activities that are more conducive to social distancing right now. So like hiking, bike rides, and kayaking.
Yeah.
We can spread out with those, and keeping it small. We're not carpooling like we were. And it's been cool. We kind of like tested the waters with just a couple people, and like people are ready to get out.
Yeah,
they are.
And people feel more safe outside as well.
Yeah, because I totally canceled my gym membership because I'm just not ready for all that right now. And so we normally plan our adventures out a year in advance. Mm-hmm. So COVID made us throw our calendar away. And so we've just been taking it 1 week at a time because our city is like on this reopening phases.
Right.
So it's just hard to like plan a lot out in advance right now. So we have a tentative plan through July, and we're just doing stuff every week. We typically did stuff twice a month. So now we're doing stuff every week, and like, I don't know, even considering like, can we like sustain this? And it seems to be fun. We have enough ideas to do an adventure for every weekend of the year.
We do.
Right.
Different adventures.
We'll see how it goes.
Right. I had the same. I had my first group trip this year, and we went to Asheville and did the national forest up there, Pisgah. That. Yeah. But so I finally, like, half a year of planning, and it was amazing. The last week of February, and lives were changed, and women hiked, and we saw waterfalls and snow tube, and then we came back to, the world's gonna shut down. Okay. I was ready to roll out the trip for the fall, and I'm just holding on to it because it's like, I don't know if I'm ready for anyone's plane by then.
Right.
But I definitely did stay active. So when things weren't completely shut down, I was like, well, if the park is open, I can do that and not be around any people.
Right.
I went kayaking one of those days, and I brought my gloves. I had my Lysol. I had my Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
And they sanitized it, and then I sanitized it and went on about my merry way. Because I just needed nature for my sanity.
Right.
And then like I got laid off from my job right as that trip happened. So great time for all of those things to happen. So every stressful thing, I was like, I need my sanity. So in my community, I wished I had thought of a challenge. That was genius. But I did try to keep people motivated and showing them what I was doing. Like, and we would talk about, well, hey, this park's still open, this trail's still open.
Right.
Things we're kind of like 4 close counties, and we weren't all on the same page. So some counties, things were closed, some were open, and
that's how
right.
I was.
people are ready to get outside. So I'm really happy that you were able to find a way to kind of pivot, throw the calendar away.
Yeah. Rip it up.
Yeah. Just had to rip it up.
And just do what you got to do.
And like people have really like, okay, if they weren't into outdoors, I mean, they had to get into it a little bit to make it out.
Right.
So, I mean, it's good to see like people who even weren't really typically going outdoors starting to appreciate outdoors more.
Right.
And so we're really trying to like, okay, yeah, come on and join us. Like, this is a thing. You can do it. People are doing it. And
it's dope.
Yeah, I think it's a great opportunity for like everybody who does anything in the outdoor industry to go ahead and keep this momentum. Like, don't let it like die. I'm still not going to the gym. Like, outdoors is an awesome place. Like, it does a lot for our wellness.
Yeah.
And I know like there's a whole big thing with like the outdoor industry and just being outdoors, but like it does so much for our wellness.
It does a lot for my mental health. Literally, just getting out there, sometimes doing a mindfulness and meditation, getting by these waters, hearing a creek, hearing a waterfall, and just feeling renewed and revitalized.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. Like
is.
Losing a job, losing a family member. Like we have got like spending time outdoors has got us through like some tough parts in life. You know, whether it be family stuff, it's helped us in our marriage. I mean, you can have those deep talks out in the woods.
Right.
Married people go on a hike. You know, so.
Just make sure both of you come back.
Please.
Please.
But I mean, I tell people all the time, like, to me, nature essentially is my favorite sanctuary. It is when I'm closest to God. Like, you don't get any closer than being in his creation and just kind of in awe of everything around you. And one of my favorite things I always tell people when I'm looking at things like waterfalls and rapids or just things that make me go, wow, God, it just puts in perspective whatever my little thing is so small. It's like it's minute compared to like all of these other things he's already done, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Even like just with all the world is going on, there's so much stuff in the news. I mean, just overwhelming. And just to go outside and sit and be still, and even just to still hear the birds chirping and singing, to like, I don't know, it just gave me this comfort that like everything is still okay.
Yep.
You know, like it's okay. God is good, and we're gonna be okay.
Absolutely. And so since you've been out since things have started to reopen, I know I've seen like way more wildlife. The waters are clearer here. I was like, oh, Earth was sick of us. She was tired of us and she needed a break. Like, did y'all seen more wildlife? Has it looked any different to you?
I mean, we have deer around where we live at.
Yeah.
So we've seen like 9 of them last night. So like we see more deer and things like that. But I actually noticed even like the colder spell, and like someone said something to me. It was like, well, the reason why it's probably cold is because Mother Nature is just repairing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like it might supposed to be like this. You know, you never know. But it's just been, I've noticed
we had a cool spring here in Tennessee. Like, we had our jackets on last week, and now it's 90.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Also, we can't have this discussion, right, as two, Black outdoor advocates, diversity advocates. So we have to have that discussion, right? So from your perspective, what do you think is some of the causes or the reasons that we have such a lack of racial diversity in outdoor recreation?
It's such a loaded question, right? Because and just historically speaking, from African American to Latino Americans, our histories are just very complex, you know, and speaking as an African American, especially growing up in the South, still living in the South, it's just very complicated. So I could just like tell you my personal experience. So let's go back to my grandmother. She was a sharecropper, right? And she grew up in Mississippi and moved to Memphis. And she worked really hard, had 7 kids, and spent a lot of time like working and kind of doing like almost like on the help, like housekeeping type work. Her children were working. My parents grew up during the civil rights era in Memphis. Like they were teenagers and can remember when MLK was assassinated. All right, so that's the period that they grew up in. And at that time, there was only one park that was even accessible to African Americans. So even if they wanted to go to this park, it was across town. You had to go by bus. I don't even think the bus went over there. But they were working anyway.
T.O. Fuller State Park.
It's called T.O. Fuller State Park now. It was the first state park open to African Americans east of the Mississippi.
Wow.
I grew up, like, my parents wound up buying a house when they were in their 20s, like 2 miles away from this place. I didn't really go to it and enjoy it until recently in the last year. But so when my parents were growing up, I mean, they spent time in like the urban parks. Once, you know, we could have access to these places, because at one point in time in history, we couldn't go to these places. And then now we can, but that doesn't mean like it's like a welcoming space just because African Americans can go to these places. So, you know, my parents took us to like urban parks, not the parks like off in these remote places, because that's what they grew up doing, the parks in their neighborhood. So my parents always took us outdoors. We just weren't going hiking. Because even last year, my dad was like, I don't know about this hiking thing.
Right. No, absolutely. We do have, there's an inherent element of fear that it has to be acknowledged and it has to be talked about. I'm kind of the exact same story, sharecropping, you know, grandmother grew up doing that, all the exact same things. So no, absolutely. The last thing they wanted to do after having to till the land was be in the land for recreation. Like, that's not fun to them.
Right.
And honestly, to be candid about it, like, you know, when you think about going into the woods, when you think about that, you know, Black people still have a phobia about being hung.
Right.
You know,
lynching was a real thing.
And it's a real thing. So, you know, from that to even misconceptions about animals and different things in there. So, like, you know, it's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of myths that we do have to break. But at some point,
some of that was grounded in truth, life.
Yeah.
Right.
Not that long ago.
Right.
You know, like we're talking a generation ago.
Right.
So, things are a world of difference. And, you know.
And another thing is, you know, when you go to the outside spaces now, you don't usually see people who look like us. So
that's a barrier.
So when you don't see people who look like us, you don't feel as comfortable out there, not by yourself. So that's why we, you know, the community that we have now, a lot of people, one of the members told us a couple of weeks ago, they just feel comfortable outside with us.
Yeah.
So it's just, those are the barriers that we have, and we try to make it so easy that you can't say no.
Yeah. So, and like, yeah, so there's still just even the barrier of where these we live in a city, all right? We grew up city people. So like the natural areas, they're often these remote places you have to drive to them. They're like not in our neighborhood. We don't pass them on the way to work.
Right.
So just to even like raise that awareness, and then to like talk about these barriers, myths or not, like that's what people think and that's their perspective. Right. And like to have conversations about it and like, yeah, it's okay that we go out in these spaces now. At one point in time, it was not okay, but now it is. And just like, how can we get out there? You know, like these places do exist. Even we're still finding places in Nashville. So a lot of people that like, they did not know these spaces existed in Nashville.
Yes, right. It's
and
like you pay your taxes for them, so you might as well get out here.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's what we're trying to do, a part of Abundant Life Adventure Club. We took like every barrier from our like personal experience, and we incorporated some strategic way to remove that barrier with Abundant Life Adventure Club. All of them. We were like, wrote them down.
And what are some of them that you can think of?
From even like knowing where these places are. So for instance, Waterfall. They are about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Nashville. So we don't meet people at the waterfall. We meet people at the Waffle House. Right on the edge of town.
Right on the interstate.
And we're not carpooling right now, but we're still gonna trail each other, because it's hard to find these places, right? Because that's one of the hardest things, even once you decide, all right, I'm gonna get to this place, and you can't find a park, you can't find a trailhead. It's so frustrating. Yeah. You can easily leave and just like, I tried, I couldn't find it. So we make it easy to find us when we get there.
What to wear?
Yep, let them know what to wear. Everything is guided, and so you don't even really have to know what trail we're doing. We let them know how long we're going to be out there, and like how the length and like the intensity of that we're going to be doing stuff. We send pictures ahead of time so people can like see where we're going. We bring water and snacks, right? Because passing out, I mean, if it's from like your blood sugar being low, we can avoid that. So we bring snacks, we bring everything that people would need.
Trekking poles, bug spray, anything.
So you don't have to buy any piece of gear have these experiences.
Just wear the right clothes and come on.
You don't have a bike, it's okay. We'll get the bike too. So like that shouldn't be a barrier. And then just having people to go with, because that's a big thing. Having people to go with, and like even on that first hike I went on, like I was the only Black person there, so I felt like not as comfortable in the group as I would like, and I saw that like as an opportunity. And generally, and what we hear from our members, they feel more comfortable being in groups of people that look like them, right? And especially, I don't know, like maybe you're the only person of color at work or at the gym, and like you just don't always want to be the only one,
right?
Like, and that's okay. And that makes a difference in just being in that community,
right?
And our stuff is not like super hardcore intense. It's all beginner friendly. Even kayaking, it's okay if you don't know how to kayak, because we have kayaking classes. So you don't have to have any prior experience. You just need to be in some decent level of general health, and that's all you need.
Awesome. Now, have you had any negative experiences or racism when you've been out in nature or in the outdoors?
For me, I haven't had any racism outdoors, but I mean, I felt uncomfortable, but but other than that, no, I haven't. What about you?
I haven't. I will say I guess the most discomfort that I have experienced may be like if we're driving to some of these places, and like seeing those Confederate flags.
Yeah.
That's like the point. That's like, okay, I just kind of see like where we at,
Right.
Just kind of checking the pulse of the community. But like it helps when you show it with 20 people.
Right.
But that's really the only thing for me. We haven't had any direct problems. We don't expect to.
And we usually communicate with the park rangers and stuff too. So, because we want them to actually come and meet and greet our community.
That's another part.
So we speak with these, so people know we coming. You know, so, and you know, when we come in, we expect you to come out here and greet us because, you know, that's the thing to do.
That's
you know?
one of the barriers too. Like, people don't feel welcomed. So when we go to some of the places and we like to let the manager or the ranger know, like, hey, we're coming. This is who we are. We would love it if you could just do a little quick meet and greet, say, hey, thanks for coming. And it really makes a difference.
It does.
That's awesome. Now, do you get the, oh, wow, there's so many of you, you know, do you ever get those?
Oh, yeah.
We get
Every
them
time.
looks, or you get like, what group are y'all? Man, it's so, yeah, man, this is great. You know, you don't know what they're really thinking.
Right.
But, you know,
we get it all the time.
All the time.
But what I love it coming from, we went bike riding last week, and it was two little Black girls, and they were like, look at all those people on those bikes. That's so much fun. That was like, it made my heart smile.
And you know, you never know what seed you might have planted in one of those little girls, you know, because they're not going to forget that. They saw a group of people that looked like them doing something like that, you know?
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Now, so as you know, my blog is actually called, well, you may not know. Some people just know I'm Outdoorsy Diva, but the full name of the blog is Misadventures of an Outdoorsy Diva, because nothing ever goes right. Nothing ever goes as planned. And I always have something that goes wrong. And I try to be honest about them because I feel like people can see that, like, I don't know what I'm doing most of the time. I make mistakes and I do it anyway. And that's okay. So tell the people I want to hear about one or two of your misadventures, a time something went completely not as planned.
So I have one time. So
I'm nervous.
No, it's not. So basically, so we planned this adventure. So we always get to the place a little bit beforehand. So this particular place is Harper River State Park. Harper River State Park, it has it's about 3.5 miles of trails, but they all meet in the middle and they all go to like
They
branch off, but all the trails are completely different, right? So there's one trail it's like this nice, beautiful tunnel, but with this waterfall coming out the tunnel. So we go down there and the people are on the way and there's no water coming out the tunnel, the waterfall. It's just dried up.
We were in a drought.
And then we was like, so next thing you know, it was like, I'm running back up. I'm telling her, she's telling me, listen, this is what we're going to do. You know, game plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And honestly, when game was on, like, we moved like it was supposed to be that way. We didn't even go down that trail. We didn't even, they thought about it. We didn't even mention that trail. You know, we just kept on going. But they actually enjoyed it and gave us like the best review.
Yeah. But I would say when we go somewhere new, we get lost trying to find the trail or the trailhead 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So every adventure is a misadventure.
Yeah.
Every time. One time we spent an hour walking around.
We walked past it like 7, 8 times, literally, and didn't even know.
The sign was so small. It was like postcard size. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that is our biggest one, is trying to find the trailhead most of the time. Or we'll be on the trail and it'll split off and maybe you missed that sign. And now you hiking 8 miles and it was supposed to be 4.
We did that on one of our favorite places, Machine Falls. And then what Kim done is when she realized it was this bridge that came over a creek, because we're going the opposite direction. And she was like, hey, y'all stop. Now y'all pose for this picture. So she taking pictures of them. They really don't know that we went the wrong way. And then we ended up turn back to go the other way. They thought it was just like a picture scene that we really, really wanted. It was pretty though, but we made it.
Yeah. So most times now, because we know that with our group, we will go to the place several times before we'll actually take people.
At least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to make sure, we'll even go like the week of to make sure like no tree is falling or like the trail is closed.
That's happened to us before.
Yeah.
Or a bridge, they doing construction on the
bridge
on
is
the bridge.
out. It's like, what?
Yeah, we've done it before.
So yeah.
I love it.
You just have to have an adventurous spirit. That's a part of it. Like, we calculate when we just go by ourselves that we're gonna get lost. That's okay. We'll find our way out. And we got time. If we're rushing, probably not the time to go for the first time, because we will get lost, and we calculate that time into the trip.
I love it. And that's the thing, like you said, you got to have that adventurous spirit, and, you know, nature is unscripted. That's one of the things I love about it. But you just got to be able to roll with it, and you do it anyway. What do you say to people who just are genuinely, they're afraid, right? How do you convince people to push through that fear?
Well, I honestly, I say find someone to go with. You know, find an expert. Just start small. You don't have to go on like the biggest waterfall adventure first. Go to your city park. They may have a trail there. Do that trail with someone, or they may have someone who guides you on that trail. Do that one little bitty trail. Start small, and then, you know, you can work your way up.
Yeah, I say the same, but I know like finding someone can be a thing.
Is a barrier as well.
One thing that, in case people don't know, especially during weekdays or like kind of off hours, park rangers they will take you to some of these places. They'll do a hike with you. Mm-hmm. At least the ones in Tennessee will. They'll go they will guide you on a hike. It doesn't cost any money, and they'll just show you the park. I've learned a lot just from even contacting the parks. They can give you so much information, and if you're concerned about your safety, they can give you tips. They can look out for you. You know, you check in when you get there. Check back in before you leave.
Or find a group like us, Abundant Life Adventure Club.
Yeah,
exactly.
Find your tribe.
Exactly. Okay, now what is an outdoor activity that you haven't tried yet, but you really want to?
Ooh.
So I have my sense of adventure is a little bit higher than Claude's.
I'm scared to go whitewater rafting, but I'm intrigued by it. I don't know. What about you?
I mean, I'll do that. But I want to do this. I don't exactly even know what it's called. I don't know if it's parasailing, but not from water. Hang gliding.
Hang gliding?
Have you seen that?
I've done it.
I want to do that. Glide off this cliff.
I'm not gonna. I might
this
not
hillside. They have it in Chattanooga.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
really?
Yeah, they got it in Chattanooga.
Hey, now I might need to plan a visit.
Okay, you can be my buddy, because see, he's not gonna
I
go
will.
with me.
Claude can just stand on the ground and take our pictures.
Yeah. My ears went deaf when y'all was talking about that. So
I haven't done it off of it, so I want to do it off of a cliff. I did it air tow. So in Florida, they have where the plane takes you up. You're attached.
Oh, wow.
And it's tandem with the guide, obviously, but
yeah,
they take you up with the plane, and then you hit 2,000 feet, and then you detach, and then you glide back down.
Wow.
And it was amazing. So I was like, okay, now I want to do the other one where you run and jump off the cliff.
Yeah, where you're just running.
So y'all gonna have to break down those barriers for me, because now I don't know about that.
Don't worry, Kim. We'll work it out. We'll work it out. I love it. I love your sense of adventure. I love both of your kind spirits. It has been like really, I'm so happy we finally did this and got to talk. So, let everybody know, what is Abundant Life Adventure Club most looking forward to for the rest of 2020 and beyond?
So in addition to our hiking, biking, and kayaking stuff, we have 2 larger scale events that we are really working hard on planning.
Right.
One is like a a urban camp out. It's camping, but it's at a city park. So it's not too intense, and we're going to be bringing everything that people will need. We're getting the camping gear. You just kind of show up. So it's going to be like that family reunion picnic, but some people stay and sleep.
And we'll have different activities as far as archery, hiking, biking, as far as
it's a lot that is offered at this park. And then we are working on a Smoky Mountain National Park hike with the group. We're going to get actually another guide to help us with that one. And we are just wanting to take a diverse group and summit a mountain. That's my main motivation. Mm-hmm. We did it a couple of years ago. And it was, we hiked Mount LeConte, and it was a challenging hike, but it changed my life. Like, even just to see those views. I mean, you can only get the view unless you're standing on top of the mountain.
Right.
It's just like amazing. And just, you're talking about a spiritual situation. It was just like amazing. So we are, like, some people have expressed interest, and we want to do that in the fall, and even kind of like do that like on a yearly basis, like take a group of people. They don't have to be members of Abundant Life Adventure Club, just like whoever wants to come. If you want to come, anybody, we just gonna start these people of color summiting this mountain every year in the Smoky Mountains. That's what we want to do.
All right, Kim, I don't know about summiting the mountain because I have asthma, and I always think I can do more than what the elevation says that I can. And I am, but you know what? You put it in the universe. We're going to pray about it.
Yeah.
You might have to use like half of those pumps on that ass.
Yeah.
Keep on pumping.
We're not going to hike the entire 6,000 feet in elevation.
Well, we'll see. Those hills, man. Listen, it's no joke. I mean, even when we drove up to get to Klingman's Dome, which is one of the highest points in the Smokies, and we got out and we were literally in the clouds, and I was like, like I was really huffing and puffing.
You still have to walk half a mile, right? Up.
Yeah, you do. And I got out of it because it was so cloudy we couldn't see 2 feet in front of us because of the fog. And so my son and I, we were like, well, it's no point if there's no view. Next time. Yeah. All right. So how can people find you? How can people join Abundant Life Adventure Club?
Okay. They can find us on our website at abundantlifeadventure.club. They can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Abundant Life Adventure Club. They can go to our website and join us. It's very easy. It has become a member. You click that link, and then it'll take you to where you can join us on our membership model.
Yep, and we even have a free trial. So just in case, like, you try it out and it's not your thing, it's okay. So we wanted to actually reduce that barrier too, and let people kind of just try us out for free. So yeah.
That is awesome. All right. So we will have those links for you all down in the show notes. That way you can easily find Kim and Claude and Abundant Life Adventure Club. Thank you so much for being on the show. You guys were
thank you for having us.
Amazing. And I'm so glad we got to connect. And I hope we get to connect in real life sometime this year.
We're going to come to Florida, and you're coming to Tennessee.
And you're going to get from Smoky Mountains.
No, we're going to hang glide together.
Oh, okay.
No, really. That's happening, Claude. Just wrap your mind around it. It's happening.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, make sure you subscribe to the Outdoorsy Diva podcast. Be sure to check out Misadventures of an Outdoorsy Diva blog on outdoorsydiva.com. You can also keep up with me and my adventures, so check out all of my social channels. Find Outdoorsy Diva on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest.